Welcome to our special Monday review thingy, because this one's off work.
Yes, an actual...
Holiday.
Well, not holiday.
Holiday for you.
But anyway, I guess we're kind of a little late to this, but I guess we'll go ahead and react to it anyway. The post-Nux Clarity, which...
Oh, okay, so I saw that there was some drama between Mutahar and Nux, right?
Yeah, and I think the issue... First off, the Sonic 2 Medallion strikes again. Because Mutahar bought a Sonic 2 Medallion, about a year ago, and it's now showing its curse.
How many people got fucked over by that medallion?
Oh, God. I haven't heard a good story yet from one. Nick Rikita, there's a guy that supposedly died.
Really?
I don't think it's coincidence, but...
Someone should make a video of how
Gundam did.
Oh, he did? Oh, good. We should watch that sometime.
Okay. But, anyway...
But the end result is that they patched it up, right?
What, their relationship?
Yeah. Mutahar Nux.
I want to say maybe, but Nux has been a lot more civil than I would be.
Oh, okay. Let's find out what he like. I don't know the whole story. Let's watch the video and find out what happened.
Oh well.
What?
One basis I know, the reason why Mutahar made this video is he went on Reddit, saw what someone was basically calling him a pedophile because Nux, reacted to some questionable hentai years ago.
What was it, Boku no Pico?
Yeah, which everybody reacted to it back in the day and made fun of it.
I've never seen it myself, but even I know what Boku no Pico is.
It's more cursed than the Sonic 2 Medallion. But okay, let's go ahead and continue. Yeah. Let's watch it.
It's me, Mutahar, and today we've got a pretty serious video to make. Throughout my career, people make mistakes, and there's accountability to be taken, and I am not shy to taking real accountability to actual mistakes. Now, the thing about this is, obviously, I can upload these kind of videos onto secondary platforms, but I really think, for full effect, I should always upload to the main platform and really talk to you guys in a full, level-headed way. Now, I have a Reddit board known as Some Ordinary Gamers, and you can post whatever memes and things you want all day, every day. But one of the clips that I saw, one of the things shared, was resurfaced video of Oompaville, Some Ordinary Gamers.
So Oompaville's in this, too?
Okay. Mutahar ran a podcast for about 2 years with Kayla Oompaville with Nux. And they had various guests would come on over the years.
Right.
So
I remember that.
So I guess they're throwing Oompaville on the bus, too? I don't know.
I wonder if he hasn't said anything about it, has he?
No, he's kept out of it.
Yeah, I guess he's pretty good at just ignoring this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you think we're gonna get some weird backlash ourselves one day?
I hope we get big enough to get backlash.
Gamers and Nuxtaku watching Loli together on a Discord call. So when I see this kind of stuff, it blows me, and obviously it flashbangs anybody, and I want to definitely have a talk about it and really explain to you exactly what this is, what it's about, give you my side of the perspective, and again, take accountability where accountability needs to be fucking taken. Now, I've had a pretty hardcore stance against things like Loli, and obviously I don't want to be...
Okay, if I remember correctly, I think Mutahar's stance on Loli is very... Loli is just... Nux described it best as being petite girl. It doesn't mean child, right?
Yeah.
It's just...
I think because people see the young-looking...
Mm-hmm. And they automatically relate it to pedophilia.
The best example is Rebecca from Cyberpunk.
Yeah, we looked at... I actually... Ooh, when we did our waifu tier list, someone said, how old is she about Rebecca? I couldn't answer at the time, but I know now she's actually in her 20s. So, yeah, she's legal.
So,
just because she's tiny.
Be contributing to watching that kind of content or normalizing it in any fashion. So in this situation, obviously I looked at some of these clips and I want to explain what's happening and completely condemn it too, because as somebody that is 1000% against this kind of stuff, I don't want to be, again, normalizing it in any capacity. Now, for people who don't know, Oompaville and Nuxtaku were former members of the Some Ordinary podcast, which obviously ended 3 to 4 months ago. Now,
Oh, so okay, so they broke up.
I've heard various stories. First off, they ended the podcast kind of a weird spot because that's when the Chadman drama came out.
Chadman?
Is the weird artwork that Mr. Beast's friend keeps buying? That the guy that actually makes actual underage.
Oh,
He actually drew Team Star's 6-year-old daughter giving a blowjob to Trump. Like, the guy is legit.
I think that would be my line.
When you're actually drawing actual children.
I think that's the line when art becomes,
fucked up.
Yeah.
But
at the same time, even if it's not an actual child, if you're still drawing, like, actual children.
Like, children, yeah, no, it's... But
and then you got that gray line with the it's an adult, but they look small, and it's confusing. The best thing to say is art doesn't have feelings, but when it's art of someone that exists, then there's the other shades of gray that makes it bad. Yeah.
I get to talk about that a little bit after I discuss all of this, because there's some lore about it that I can finally really discuss. And it should shed to light exactly what really happened with the podcast, because it's pretty independent of this. But to go back to it, Nux Taku is a former collaborator, a former friend of mine. And I mean really a former friend of mine, because some of the stuff that I've seen over here is disgusting enough that I really can't continue a friendship. And I really can't, like...
Okay, so is there more to it than just the hentai?
It goes on. I think it's mainly just hentai. The whole story is he was paying attention to what Reddit was saying, and I guess he took it too personal. And it's easy to throw Nux under the bus and actually just ignore shit.
Yeah, but that's kind of...
Like I said, the Sonic Medallion strikes again.
So apparently the Sonic Medallion messes with people's minds. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Because that seems very out of character from Mutahar.
Yeah, before you start this,
Uh-huh.
This is a re-upload. That's why the audio seems a little skiffed and the quality looks like shit, I guess, on our TV.
Uh-huh.
Because he deleted or private this video because he got so much shit from making this video.
Yeah.
Like, more shit than he was probably getting off of Reddit.
Yeah, because when you throw your friends under the bus, especially when your friends are very well liked and they're decent human beings...
Or try to be.
Then, yeah.
Again, excuse some of my behavior watching some of this content as well. So this video that was uploaded with, again, Nux Taku as Jeffrey Epstein and me as, I assume, Ghislaine Maxwell over here. Mutahar Nunt, right? So obviously in this clip, or in this video, there is a pretty big clip of me, Nux Taku, and Quite, and Caleb basically watching and reviewing hentai together. Now, while all three of us were present in this video, this is a section from me, right? Now, obviously, these videos, according to how this video is played, was uploaded on YouTube. Now, for full context, when it comes to recording stuff, this was 3 years ago, so I don't remember everything done onto it. I don't think anybody can remember something they did 3 years ago, especially when you make videos nearly every day. But in...
Yeah, I can agree to that. You can't really remember things you do 3 years ago. But, wow, just from... reviewing a hentai, huh?
Yeah.
If we ever become popular, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for most of these videos we made because I say some outlandish stuff, I swear.
Just own up to it. Like, like, if you had a view 5-6 years ago and you changed your mind over time, I can understand that.
Right.
If you changed it last week because people were giving you shit, I'm going to question your stances.
Right.
In this collaboration, Nux doesn't really give any preparation material. We kind of just jump in and record stuff and then send it over to his editors or himself over Discord. But in this situation...
Which, by the way, Nux doesn't do this stuff like this anymore. He doesn't... Like, this is, like, old Nux from 2019.
I like this stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but...
I wish I could do one of these with him.
A channel known as Henty Boy, right? Which, again, this is a video known as Hentai Thick Girl, very unknown, very small viewership, but as you can see right over here, right, this was all uploaded to YouTube. And even when you look at the upload date for this, August 2020, around Nux's actual video, which would have been uploaded like January of, or the end of January of like 2021, the channel pretty much remained dormant over here. But it was pretty much an unknown channel that slipped under YouTube's moderation. I don't even think that channel exists anymore because with the amount of attention raised through Nux's initial video, it probably is completely removed and has actually been banned off of the platform. And again, when I was working with Nux, a lot of the things we did talk about was being anti-lowly in that situation. And Nux very much made it clear to me that he was
I will say this, I'm not necessarily anti-lowly, I'm anti-pedophilia.
There is a difference.
Uh-huh. Because for the most part, when I see lowly, the first thing that comes to my mind when I see lowly is just a petite girl wearing a beautiful dress. Like, I think, even though CL is not a girl, but the way he dressed in Black Butler and stuff, and then you got, like, Shaltier from Overlord, stuff like that. Just that.
Or a better example, Dress Me Up Darling. The oldest one of the group looks like the youngest.
Uh-huh.
So.
Yeah, that's.
And Moonheart also confuses lowly with high school age girl. That's another problem he does later on in the video.
Right.
anti this stuff as well too, and he still maintains it to this day. But the kind of stuff that he showed us was anime knee summer. Now, inside the video, inside Nux's presentation, it kind of came off as like just a cursed little hentai. And the reality of it is, I never really watched his collaboration. But if you take the name that knee summer has had and put it into my anime list, which I realistically should have done at the time, you can see the synopsis is Yuta Yamayuchi is a average high school student, right? So right there, I'm not going to play the whole semantics, oh, is this really lolly game? Like, I don't even...
You know, most anime, all the girls are high school. All the characters are high school.
And this is another problem people don't understand from the West versus Japan. They see high school the way we see college. That's another thing.
Ah, really?
So they look at high school as kind of their better years, like the way some people look at college as
yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily that they're fantasizing high schoolers. It's like for example, my mindset is, even though I'm old, I still feel like the same way I did when I was a teenager. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you prioritize how you felt when you were younger. It's not necessarily meaning that you're sexualizing younger. It's just, the school setting's a fun setting. It's good for a setup. It's good for growth in a story. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Even care if somebody is like 18 or on the cusp of like turning 19. At the end of the day, high school can very much involve a minor. And when you scroll down and go to the information, it is a OVA by a studio known as Rabbit Gate with no licensors, but the genre is in fact hentai. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if it's hentai and it involves high school people, it does in fact fall under the lowly banner. And that is...
Another fun fact. Most people... Okay, it's kind of its own fetish. Like, I guess with furries in a sense.
Yeah.
Where, Okay. Just because you like, for example, what's the word I'm looking for? Anthropomorphic animals doesn't mean you want to fuck your cat. You get it?
Yeah, but there's way too many...
Doggy, no!
There's way too many people who are furries that fuck their pets, too.
True, and then it's kind of a double standard, I guess. If that makes sense. It's like one person ruins it for everyone else.
Yeah. Continue.
Yeah, it goes.
Is never okay in any capacity. Now, obviously, these videos existing on YouTube kind of, again, led us to some credence that maybe it wasn't, this, like, borderline illicit material. But again, these were also smaller YouTube channels, so chances are they probably weren't swept up under the YouTube moderation, which is something that also should have really been considered from my end. It should have been something that I never watched in the first place. I should have never, condoned. And honestly, it's pretty shitty to even contribute to somewhat normalizing this material. When there's a lot of large creators that work with a person, you tend to have this level of, like, authority brought into it. And there is obviously a blind spot when this is somebody that you consider to be a friend at the time. And obviously, when you work with that person and you see other large creators that you're also friends with work with that person, it just, again, swells up that blind spot that you make.
So ultimately, Mutahar is just trying to make an excuse.
He's making an excuse.
He's trying to defend himself from looking like a pedophile, even though he's not. Just because he watched these, and Nux is not.
He couldn't have said, "I just don't agree with watching these videos." I'm so friends with him. He could have just said, "Hey, I don't." Well, he should have never just made this video and ignored the drama altogether.
Yeah, exactly. Who cares what people think of you? Whoop-de-fucking-do. Everyone's a weirdo. Everyone has their own little upsets and just stuff. Ultimately, whoever is pointing the finger first, they're probably the ones who are actually pedophiles.
It's so true.
They're the ones hiding shit in the closet.
But again, no real excuses over there. You shouldn't really have a blind spot in the first place. And again, it's not only me being a poor judge of character, but I should have absolutely have spotted this years ago. So for that, I absolutely own up to my fuck up here. But again, I don't think this is literally us gooning together watching Loli in this manner. This is a collaboration where it happens pretty much on the fly. And it's not, representative of the kind of shit that I consume on a daily basis or anything of that nature. Like, I would never willingly and honestly, like, watch something like this, out of nowhere. This is just insane, and I wanted to really bring this up and bring this into the context of what this clip was and why we had watched this kind of stuff. And any jokes that I make in these situations, really any jokes that anybody makes in collaborations like this, is usually because everyone's just playing into the high shock factor of something like this. Does that excuse any behavior? Absolutely not.
And
I swear that's like bowing down to cancel culture and the woke media, what he just said right there.
Yep. Pretty much,
It's like you can't joke about anything anymore. Like, for example, what's that one guy, the Butts Man, that we watch and stuff?
Isaac Butterfield, I know what you're talking about. From Australia?
Yeah.
What about him?
The kind of jokes he makes can offend people.
He goes far, though. He goes dark.
Yeah.
But still,
I like dark humor. Dark humor is funny.
It is, but still.
I remember once in school someone told a joke about how many babies does it take to paint a barn?
I never heard that one.
Because you're throwing them at the barn.
That's just dumb. That's not even funny.
You don't get it?
I get
You're
it.
painting the barn with their blood.
Just continue.
I told you I have dark humor.
he showed us something very weird, and I remember getting somewhat upset about it and not liking it that much. It was me, him, and Quite. Fuck. I want to say it was something involving a dog, too, but I...
Exactly.
Probably 900-year-old cum vamp for far too long.
These are the four horsemen of the apocalypse we're looking at right now. This is like some mythological.
They've been around since long before civilization.
Exactly. Wait, you showed those videos?
This is the 5 rules of the Onami household.
Okay.
These are the little sisters, by the way.
Okay, this is a hentai?
First rule,
we did do
hug
it.
your little sister every day.
Okay, it's fine, okay. It's just hug her for at least 10 seconds. There's nothing wrong with a hug. Yeah, it's fine.
No, the third rule isn't any weirder, so you don't have to worry.
Oh. But in this situation, I just wanted to provide you the context of all of this, right? This wasn't us sitting together watching Loli, just on, like, the off time. This is a collaboration for one of Nux's main channel videos. And at the time, really nobody thought about it. But we should have. So a lot of these big creators, you can start to see like really big names. Obviously, Project Melody, Critical, MXR Plays. I don't know if that's actually Iron Mouse.
Dude, I would love to do one of these. I would love to do any kind of collab with Nux. But I would never ask because I'm too shy and nervous and we're not big enough. I doubt he'll ever see this video.
You never know.
Ah.
Would you freak out if he did comment?
Yes, I would freak out if he ever commented on any of my stuff.
Get that man.
Stop, doggy! My doggy keeps wanting to jump at my keyboard.
House, but yeah, you can see plenty of creators that Nux has worked with,
Over here.
and for a while there's
Oh,
been
no!
plenty of
Oh,
collaboration.
Oh no! Sorry, we had to hold on. Cat's throwing up. Oh, sorry about that. I had a kitty emergency of hairball. Alright, so we're just gonna clean that up, and I'll continue with the video.
Where like big creators jump on, they get shown like crazy shit, crazy hentai, or sometimes participate in like, you know, games, game
like
shows,
hentai.
so to speak. And that's really the extent of it. Nux is a pretty big collaborator in that space, and realistically I kind of just walked around expecting him on good faith when he said that, you know, he's pretty anti-loli, and obviously wouldn't have shown us anything that would be very adjacent to it. And obviously with a lot of these larger creators also collaborating with him, I'm sorry to say it really did blindside me. There was a bias, call it, you know, friendship bias, call it, you know, there was other creators working on it, but really it was something that I was putting up a blind spot to, and I'm not using that as an excuse. I really shouldn't have done that collaboration, and I really shouldn't have watched that content and in any way contributed to normalizing it. I 100% obviously condemn Lolly, and I 100% condemned my actions in that situation. But again, one of the reasons why I do really want to address this is I don't like obviously reading the facts that I am some level of a pedo or a defender of this or anything. I have made plenty of videos crapping on...
Again, lolly, anime does not equal pedo. Sure, I'm not going to deny that there can be links to liking petite anime characters and being a pedophile. That is a possibility, but it's not the standard. Sometimes people just like anime characters. Like, for example, myself. I enjoy anime. I am probably a weirdo who has a mental problem who finds anime characters more attractive than real people. And yet I somehow managed to get married and have a decent life and all that jazz despite my issues. But I'm not openly trying to get with children just because I like a character that could be... Like for example, I had a major crush on Gaara from Naruto. Of course, at the time, I was actually the same age as Gaara when I first got into it. I still find him attractive, even though I'm in my 30s now, and he's, like, stuck in, like, a, I guess, 13, 14? I know he aged up, but I prefer how he looked originally, because I like that design better.
You don't like the baritone art?
No, he looks weird to me.
You don't like
But that's what I grew up with. That's what I was used to. Like, I also like Link from Legend of Zelda. And, yeah. I'm trying to think of some other young characters. Sephiroth's not young. Of course, I got a reverse one there. I was 9 years old when I fell in love with the character Auron, who is 35. Which I'm going to be his age here soon.
Continue.
So,
individuals and burning a bridge
not
with
real.
creators who I don't necessarily agree with. If I have ever at any point normalized their actions, people like Mama Max, where I did stick up for, amongst plenty of other creators. But I think obviously if really bad information comes out and new information comes out, you have to publicly correct it. You have to publicly explain, updates to a situation.
You don't have to publicly explain anything.
Yeah.
What you do in your past is your past. If things change, whoop-de-doo. If things are looked at differently, you can't change what you did in your past and be like, oh, I'm a bad guy now because of what I did. And then, again, like I said, no, don't bow down to people
Go
who.
out down to Reddit and Twitter.
Yeah. Thank you.
I could swipe this stuff under the rug, but I choose to upload it on the main channel because I think that's really where taking accountability is at. I don't want to pretend like I am just burying my head in the sand. This was a wrong thing for me to do, and 100% I own up to it completely. So one of the things that I don't agree with is a lot of the over-sexualization in the thumbnails, right? So there were actually collections of thumbnails collected in these videos where things were pretty NSFW, all right? Or at least...
By
Yes.
the way, he changed all those thumbnails over the years. He's even said, I regret doing that. Oh, I'm talking about Nux.
Okay.
He regret doing that, and he even changed some of the thumbnails in it. Obviously, probably also because
Also, but yeah, because of new YouTube's
guidelines.
guidelines, all that stuff change over time.
But even so, you're just throwing Nux under the bus just because you got your feelings hurt.
Mm-hmm.
least they were highly sexualized, but even that isn't as bad as one of the examples that I want to show you. Now, if you're looking at this video called Cursed Speedrun Fails, this was uploaded 3 years ago, and if you're looking at the thumbnail, it is XQC screaming at some video game with Nux's VTuber in the corner and going, what the fuck? Now, the thing is, the problem with this situation is the thumbnail that came before is absolutely filthy. So this one video where, again, the thumbnail is different.
He just
XQC
got done saying
still
came
very much
before.
in the corner. You can see a speedrunning timer. You can see Nux's character, his avatar, right here on the right side. But the middle that I'm blurring especially involves a dog bending over and inserting themselves into what appears to be a female character.
What?
Hey, he changed it. I mean,
How did that even get? How is that even allowed?
probably not, and that's probably why he changed it too.
That's kind of funny, though.
I'll get you to click on the video.
Yeah, dude, I saw some. Remember the cursed fucking that one random ass thing we randomly found with JoJo Part 3 with
the monkey.
and the monkey.
Oh, continue.
So obviously this has nothing to do with the actual content, it's just a hypersexualized thumbnail. Now, even with a thumbnail like that, it had nothing to do with anything hypersexualized, so I don't know why we had to insert zoophilia into like a speedrunning thumbnail. To me, it makes no sense, but obviously, you know, looking through a larger collection of these thumbnails that were uploaded on numerous other channels covering this topic, yeah, it really is a pattern that back in the day, and Nux even touched upon this, that, you know, years ago, that this was something they did, whether it be for some form of clickbait or, you know, capture or something that was normalized in the anime community.
And back then, clickbait was important, right?
Yeah, you can't get away with it now, especially.
Yeah. Oof.
Should we make that
Any
off
form of zoophilia, any form of, you know, hentai like this, or hypersexualization, or, you know, if you even insert, like, loli into this thumbnail, for instance, that's not okay. And obviously these are things that, you know, if you slightly change in the background, it's going to rub people the wrong way. You should really just be upfront and honest. And honestly, you should never even have done this in the first place. But yeah, this is one of those...
I will agree with Mutahar here.
You shouldn't have done it, but hey, he ain't hiding from it. He hasn't denied it.
Yeah.
He changed.
He owned up to it and changed it.
Why drag it up now?
Yeah.
Those things that kind of like obviously was brought up, and it's one thing that I wanted to address as one of the principal reasons as to why this isn't okay. But I think a even bigger reason is one of these situations regarding another creator known as Bungo Taiga, which is a character, a creator that also had their entire YouTube channel pretty much terminated for nudity and sexual content policy. Now, to preface, also going in forward into this video, I don't know much.
I'm gonna pause it.
What?
He's bringing up the. He'll probably explain the video, but Tyga kind of blamed Nux for getting him banned off YouTube, and the only thing Nux did is he went on Noise Critical, and Charlie asked him about Tyga and said, well, he could be a pedophile because he was passing around underage photos, supposedly. I don't know the full details, but even Nux apologized to Tyga on his live stream on Twitch. So I don't know why you're dragging this up now.
Yeah, that's kind of scummy, dragging stuff from the past up.
Especially when it's already water under the bridge.
Yeah.
much more about Bungo Taiga other than what I'm about to read here for you, and again, just covering this one specific case. So I don't know what level of degeneracy, if anything, this person also falls into, so don't consider anything that I'm saying as a co-signing of this individual. I'm looking at a very...
Okay, so you're bringing it up, but you don't know much about it.
Even though we brought it up because it was in the video, right?
Yeah. So why are you bringing it into your cover your own ass video?
Ooh.
very hyper-specific event in this point in time. I just want to make that readily apparent. So to go over a bit of their controversy, in summer 2022, Taiga was accused of grooming. They made a twit longer where they reviewed the allegations and called them false. Later, an updated Google Doc was created that had evidence that not only were these allegations fake, they were deliberately created by ex-moderators and spread by a stalker of Taiga. So again, this is the Google Doc in question. Now again, I have no idea about this controversy whatsoever. I'm only bringing this up because it was actually a big point of contention for someone like Nux. So even the actual person, Taiga Holic, actually ended up making like a 57-minute like piece where they kind of went over this and really were just grilling Nux for not really correcting the record. The record had to be corrected because in this situation, Nux literally made a video where he was showcasing controversies to a popular creator known as Penguin Zero. Now inside this, he actually goes out and says, "Hey all, I edited out the Bungo Taiga segment of this video. Although I state in the video itself a disclaimer that I do not know the full story and do not take what I say too seriously, I would rather not be a cause for possible misinformation floating around now that new information was revealed. I'm still in the dark on a lot of details as I heard both sides of this event and don't know what to think. I'm sorry."
Why is this being brought up then?
To throw Nux under the bus. Like I said, this whole video is Mutahar trying... It's a Sonic 2 medallion. Playing the medallion here.
The Insanity Medallion. I hope he pitched it.
Sorry if I caused any undue harm. So I personally apologize to Taiga for their side, and they discussed my plan going forward. Either the truth comes out, be it guilty or innocent, but I intend to set the record straight in the future when I understand the situation. So it's wild as fuck that we're covering pretty serious stories like this, but we don't have the entire story, or at least enough to make a video. That is basically how you bring on actual misinformation. So in this story, Taiga did not appear to be too happy with this entire situation. They actually talked about it again in that VOD I brought up, Nuxtaku Can't Stop Lying.
You think I deplatformed him? People are blaming me for deplatforming him? He got banned for sexual content. But you're blaming me for deplatforming him? Destroyed his life? You think I just...
Hey,
What?
I'm on top of Nux.
destroyed his life when the video where I talked about apologizing for it has more views than the video where I originally mentioned it, like, as a throwaway sentence? Over false allegations? I didn't make any allegations. I said what someone else said, and I was wrong to do that. But, like, there are so many comments like this everywhere.
I don't particularly think that was ever a great response in the situation. Like, yes, just because you regurgitated what somebody else said.
And this response is so much better.
When it comes to something this serious, it probably should have been something that you were 100% on the money for. It's a pretty massive fuck-up, and it's not a fuck-up that you can just, put in a pinned comment or a, side channel that people, may or may not see. At the end of the day, when it involves something incredibly serious, like, incredibly serious, like sexual assault stuff, you should 100% correct the record and make a actual real... It doesn't have to be like you slapping yourself in the face in front of it. It just really has to be a sincere apology that, again, you post on a main channel. The reason I'm doing this video, for instance, on a main channel is because I really do want to set the record straight. I really don't have anything to hide, and to be honest with you, when it comes to a situation like this, it's best that I set the record straight with my community. I'm not ashamed of involving people that wouldn't know about it. I don't really want to hide things under a rug because I have nothing to hide. At the end of the day, that, to me, is more shady. I've called people out for really bad behavior, and I think this is probably some of the worst that I've seen, especially when it comes to reporting on something that you probably never should have in the first place, especially when it would have cost somebody, a lot of issues down the road, right?
But isn't he essentially doing that to Nux right now?
Yeah, like I said, the Sonic 2 medallion is cursed. But Nux has apologized multiple times. All Nux did is say, Morse Critical asked him, "Hey, what's the deal with Taiga? Do you think he's a pedophile?" I'm like, well, maybe. That's all Nux said. And Nux even, cut that out of his video and apologized to him as he put it, it's like
He was probably just kind of joking around, yeah?
I don't think it was a joke, but at the same time, I highly doubt it was the reason why Tyga got kicked off of YouTube. But it's easy just to throw shit at Nux because he spread false allegations. Maybe he didn't know at the time. People say shit and then they go back later. Oh, fuck, I was wrong. But why you drag it up 2 years later to cover your ass?
About just being friends with Nux and watching some hentai videos, whoop-de-doo. And so the whole issue is just Mutahar is salty because people are saying that he's a pedophile. If you have nothing to hide, and don't be ashamed that you watched this hentai stuff. It's not pedophilia stuff. It's not the same thing.
Even the comment section over here isn't entirely happy about the situation, because obviously they say if you know how the internet works, then you'll know why that little clip can end a career of somebody. You said it, people are calling other people's stuff, but it never gets to somewhere because they don't have to reach to. But if some idiot with almost 800k subs, it doesn't matter if 1 million people see it. At least 1/8 of them are going to clip it and repost it. Which is really true. If you make a serious fuck up like that, I think not only is removing the video a big problem, but you really got to go onto your main channel and address these situations. If you make a fuck up, especially one where you inadvertently end up slandering somebody, you got to cover for that. And the reason I also bring this situation up is I don't condone any situation where people are this mishandling with the truth, right? It's never good in my opinion, and I cannot ever work with somebody or, again, be friendly with somebody who has made a mistake like this. Because ultimately, it's fine to make mistakes, but to really just let it fester for this long without actually making right on it, because again, if you ignore something on the internet long enough, there's a good chance that it'll go away, right? If I ignored this whole situation with my fuck up, it would probably have gone away, but that would be very...
And yet you drag it out into the light for everybody to see.
Yeah, you shouldn't have even made this video at all. I mean, he did delete it, right?
Delete or private, one of the two, but
Something.
you can't go to his channel and find this video. This is a re-upload.
Okay, ultimately, he did apologize to Nux, right?
Him and Nux had a talk out. And supposedly also Muir did make an apology tweet or video. I don't know. I didn't see that part.
I mean, I know it can be hard, okay? If people are going to sit there and bully you for stuff you did not do, it's hard to figure out what to do to clear your name. Because on the one hand, if you ignore it, it can still get to you. I understand this. I was bullied a lot in school, and the best thing I did was ignore it. But even then, it's hard to ignore it sometimes, and sometimes you'll lash out. It's understandable. I don't believe Mutahar's a bad person. I think he just made the wrong choice, got too overwhelmed, and just thought the best solution was to just say that it was Nux's fault. I don't know. It's sad. I don't think he's a bad person. He, as far as we know, they fixed things up, so don't dwell on this. We're just reacting to this. I don't want any more drama to come about this, because if our video adds any more drama, I don't want that.
We're just reacting, putting our 2 cents on it, and moving on.
Yeah. I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you for watching.
Very hypocritical of me to do, and that's not something I want to contribute to, at least on my time on the internet. I also feel that for this one person having some exoneration on a channel, you know, where at least if they weren't guilty of really heinous crimes, at least they get their word out, which at least happened over here. So now I want to move on to something related to our podcast. Now, at the time when we were looking at this whole situation, one of the things that conveniently also occurred along the time of the Some Ordinary podcast ending was the Shadman leaks coming out to the entire world. A lot of creators back in 2016 would contact and discuss things with Shadman, right? Now, Shadman is a pretty infamous creator that I have very much condemned. This is somebody that has drawn actual lolicon material of real individuals, real children, one of those children being Keemstar's kid, and has basically been an open degenerate in the community. Now, the thing is, a lot of creators ended up being friendly with the guy.
He actually drew
yeah.
hentai of his own mother.
You didn't say that one.
No, he drew actual like hentai of his own mother. That's how fucked up this. He got kicked out of art school. I think he's over in or somewhere in Europe. I think Denmark or something. But he got kicked out of art school because of the shit he was doing. The dude's fucked up. Don't ask me how he's not in jail. I don't know. Actually, I think he's been arrested.
For drawing people?
I think stabbing a hobo, but I think choking. I heard something. I heard. Don't. I'm gonna continue on now. Are you okay over there?
Okay.
A lot of people contacted them, and one of them ended up being Nux Taku, who Nux had at the time said, hey, probably this guy, right? A bit too middle school. You know, when Shadman is saying a bit too middle school, ooh. I want to collab. LMAO, no, but your heart's in the right place. Understandable, have a nice day. Now, when I asked Nux about this, obviously in a call, he pretty much told me that this was going to be an interview where he was going to troll and, grill Shadman. Now, obviously it didn't happen, so I can't confirm or deny if this was actually going to be the truth. But the thing about it is obviously as this was happening, this was on the consideration of the podcast ending. So I was on somebody's channel known as Chud Logic who actually talked about the situation. I actually ended up going onto his channel and saying something that I probably shouldn't have because this situation regarding the podcast was very fluid. And I'll explain that in a bit. But I want you to hear this clip so I can better explain it and also acknowledge a fuck up I made. That's never okay.
Okay. Are you going to keep on with the podcast?
No, we would cancel the podcast. It's not happening. The podcast is done.
This is hard because obviously, people want me
Podcast is done, yeah. Podcast is done now.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the podcast is over. We are not filming the last episode. It's over.
Is that are you serious?
Yeah. We're not doing the podcast anymore. It's done.
Did they ever explain why they...
From what I heard, it was not because of Nux. It's because the company that supposedly Moodahard works with, the management company, was screwed. It's legal bullshit, not anything to do with Nux. It's just the timing was just right on. It just, the timing was so convenient.
Okay. I know, ma.
Why?
We're supposed to film on Tuesday. Well, there's a couple reasons for it. A lot of that was obviously some of the Shad stuff too, because we were kind of sitting there. We're like, me and Caleb, we were just like, this is, I don't know, it's weird. The other thing was we just want to redo things, maybe like 2 months down the road or something. So this is a pretty big point and one that I can finally really discuss. Now, obviously, if you listen to that, it kind of sounds like I'm snaking him. I give him an answer where it says, there's a lot of reasons, but a lot of it is the Shadman stuff, which at the time, as this was kind of breaking down, everyone in the community was going, whoa, you're connecting with this guy, you're talking to him. Yeah, that kind of was one thing that was brought up. But obviously in a call that, I guess I had with Nux personally, this was discussed as like a collaboration effort. There was another huge thing that I wasn't really privy to discuss at the time. Now, the podcast ended for, again, us not actually owning any of it. So to give you an idea about how it works, right, the company that I was with at the time, the management company, Nano Zebra, they managed my channel and specifically Oompaville's channel. Now, if you notice towards the tail end of the podcast, Oompaville really wasn't showing up for a lot of episodes. There was actually a point where, it would be like 1 week out of the month he would actually make an appearance. And it wasn't because, all of a sudden there was some falling out between us or anything. It was that there was a behind-the-scenes issue with Nano Zebra and how some of the things on the podcast was done. I believe payment wasn't really necessarily brought towards Oompaville, and they had, another deal that wasn't really met well. Now,
so it was just money and management, that's all it was.
That's why it's not good. It's probably better to be freelancies.
Yeah.
Is Nux freelancing, or does he have company?
I'm pretty sure he has a management.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to a certain point, you need management because of all the stuff, but...
And when you get big enough?
Yeah.
I just smile.
Like, Kirsten has got management for crying out loud.
Oh, wow. Wait, we're too small for that. We don't even have a professional editor.
What are you doing it on Movie Maker?
Yay, Movie Maker is free!
Now, at the time, me, Oompaville, Isaiah, Tom, Brandon were out filming in Texas, and Wendigo actually brings up, how things are going over at Mana.gg, another talent agency. So me and Caleb kind of get like a little pitch out of it, and we basically want to work with this Mana group because they're going to do a lot more things in the future that would help us with ventures we want going into our channel into 2025 and beyond. So me and Caleb effectively just cut ties with Nano Zebra. We fill in our resignations, and we move on to Mana, and this happened around 3 to 4 months ago. So as this happened, the podcast was under management and, again, I believe partial, if not near full ownership of Nano Zebra. So at the time, it was like, hey, what do we do about this podcast, right? Like, do we fight for rights for it? And obviously, not really. You don't need to. If you're the main talent, the 3 big people, you are the draw for the show. So it really became a situation where me and Caleb said, yeah, fuck it. We'll just make a new show, and we'll move it to a new location, hopefully something IRL, obviously, where, it kind of has more of a professional feel, and one that we can obviously manage better. The podcast wasn't the perfect managed podcast ever. There was moments where guests would show up literally, like, last minute, and a lot of those guests actually did come because of Nux's massive collaborative efforts. Some of the guests I brought, some of the guests Caleb brought, but it was not something where we even had a docket for a lot of the shows, right? It was really just we showed up, we yapped. The yapping wasn't exactly structured, and there were some episodes you could probably look at and realize they were pretty fucking phoned in. So at the end of the day, the podcast ended pretty inconveniently timed with this whole Shad.
Are most podcasts usually done without scripts?
Yeah, generally, unless it's like, I'm convinced the Hawk 2 podcast is.
Shut up with that.
We're going to be talking about in the next video.
Stop.
By the way, how I found Gundam was through that podcast. Like, I used to watch that regularly out on the road.
Oh, the podcast?
Yeah.
Aw.
That's how I found Gundam. Who else I find? Gamer from Mars is another one to listen to off there. I mean, there's a couple people I've listened to from that podcast.
Watching them.
That we're watching now.
And you're sad they're gone.
Hell, they had Papa Meat on there. They had Charlie on there. So, alright, so.
Man
Just
stuff.
didn't work out.
Now, obviously, we did, or at least I looked into the Nux stuff myself too, the Shadman stuff, because there wasn't really any collaboration, never really went anywhere. It didn't become the, sole focus reason. But yeah, the actual reasons for why this podcast ended were a lot of boring business stuff. We just didn't own it. So it was a lot better for us to make a new podcast, make an entirely new name out of it, and me and Caleb can move that going forward. And obviously, somebody else can come on that is not Nux, but you understand now the real situation. Now, at the time, I couldn't really bring this up because when you're leaving a contract and you're leaving a company and you're going to a new company, you really don't want to disparage somebody, not because it's not the legal thing to do, but also it's just not something you want to do, right? It's just not really professional at all. You don't want to disparage another company. You don't want to go out and make things look worse than they really are. It really was a pretty amicable breakup. We left, we moved to a new company, and underneath that new company, or really under our company, we're going to bring back this podcast with obviously, different branding and whatnot. So that's really the fucking boring answer that it took me months to really tell you. And it took me months because now I've completely severed ties with Nano Zebra, and I've been with Mana GG for, I want to say 3 months at this point, officially signed on. So yeah, that's really the answer. Now, in the case of Chud Logic, who did in fact take the words that I had put out and had relayed them, he really felt that I kind of snaked him and gave him misinformation or outright lied to him. And the reality of it is, honestly, the situation was just so fluid at the time that we didn't even know that things like the last episode were going to be filmed, right? And ultimately that last episode did end up getting filmed, so things kind of did end on a, regular note. But when it came to Chud, there's definitely an apology that I feel I should give there, right? I could argue this and I could keep fighting it, but at the end of the day, I do feel that, obviously, if what I have said has led to some wronging for another person, then I am not above an apology. Look, I'm not...
I have to say what he's watching is giving me seizure.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I would... I don't know if they made a new show yet. I'm probably not going to watch it just because of this video alone. I'm not going to watch it.
Even though you're made up?
If you want to call this made up, I mean...
You're salty because this the first time you're hearing it, right?
Yeah, this is the first... I mean, I've seen the reaction. I've heard, other people talk about it. And Nux is actually doing his own kind of podcast with...
I want to be a podcast with Nux. That'd be cool.
Well, right now he's just doing it with some other VTuber, so. Continue.
Too big to fail or too egotistical to realize when what I've done can have consequences for other people, and for that I do humbly apologize. And that's really where I want to kind of leave things at. So, you know, sorry, Chud. Now, one comment that I saw on Reddit that I want to address too, because obviously this is a pretty good reflection of somebody that is...
He read a comment on Reddit.
I don't even look at Reddit.
I get some, like, car advice off of Reddit, even then that's sketchy.
Yeah.
very properly critical of me, right? Somebody that is actually hitting me with
I don't
hard
even
questions.
look at Facebook.
So one user, Nostra Clonoa, says,
Twitter.
personally, if you're asking me, I think it's weird that you don't look into the background history of your friends and the people you're just perfectly fine platforming. Again, we kind of did a podcast together. Everyone was a sizable creator. I don't really think that it is specifically me platforming, right? This is just 3 larger creators at the time. You allowed Mama Max to run rampant for years. Again, I wasn't the only large creator that worked with Mama Max or collaborated or, you know, at some point patted him.
Who Mama Max?
It was supposedly a pedophile hunter that went crazy and went after this weird group that was supposedly a vampiric pedophile cult, but they literally just made shit. He literally made shit up to go after this one guy.
What?
I don't even know I don't know all the details, but basically the guy went nuts and went after people he should have gone after and calling them pedophiles and stuff like that with no evidence at all.
Oh.
Kind of like what people are doing to Mudahar and he's trying to do to Nux.
It's a horrible chain reaction. Ooh.
Him on the back. The reality of it is there was plenty of creators. I was just one of the guys that came out and really absolutely threw him through the ringer, as I'm doing with Nux with this condemnation, and again, an explanation as to my side of the situation.
What?
Did he just say as I'm doing the Nux?
Yes.
He just...
Yeah, he just admitted to it.
Okay, so he's aware right there. Just pass the blame, right? That's what's going on?
Pretty much. He got his feelings hurt online. And he's taking it. That's why I'm kind of iffy towards Mudahar. Because this is supposed friend he's doing this to.
He's human.
Even Nux still called him a friend, even though friends like that, who needs fucking enemies at this point?
Yeah. Oh, you're so salty about it.
I am, because I like Nux. I mean, I'm describing Nux, I'm not describing Mudahar.
Right?
I would watch his videos every now and then, but continue.
Everyone deserves a second chance. And if Nux wants to forgive him, you should too.
The reality of it is I don't have to come out and make these videos, but I choose to because I believe being accountable is important. And I'd be a total hypocrite because I call other people out on crazy shit. And if I'm willing to completely sweep things under the rug and pretend like things don't exist or show you actual things, then I am a pretty big fucking hypocrite on my own. So you blindly believe the allegations against Magnetar, which I apologize for, especially. You blindly believe the Night Docs was a creep, and you blindly let a guy like Nuxtaku openly discuss and show freak shit in his thumbnails. Again, I don't control another person and their YouTube account, so I don't know what I can do with their thumbnails. But again, it's something that I do condemn, especially when these thumbnails are slightly changed. Again, I don't think they should have ever been used in the first place, and I don't want to work with somebody that believed these thumbnails were a good choice in the first place. You actively don't look into the folks you trust, and you just blindly allow them to say whatever without having critical thought about a single bit of it. So again, I don't really watch a lot of content creators that I collaborate with, and nobody really does, okay? Like, at the end of the day, when it came to Nux's channel, here I'm signed on with my actual YouTube account, and if it's one thing that you'll see, usually under videos, there'll be like a red bar. I don't have a red bar under basically any of these videos. I think the only video I have an actual red bar in this is probably... I showed YouTubers the most cultured clips, which I actually browsed through just for the sake of, again, this video. So yeah, Nux is somebody that I did a podcast with, but it's not that I watched any of this content beforehand, right? Again, this was somebody that was very popular in a community of people beyond just anime and VTubing, and it led some credibility. And again, the only reason I'm making this video now is to take accountability and to really, again, condemn the behavior that this person actually exhibited. Again, that's really the reality of it. Even if you look at other friends of mine, like Oompaville, you can see literally I watch the content that I'm interested in, right? Like Mr. Beast's response, him saying he's retiring, Fousey crash outs, a sad AI situation, Smart Schoolboy 9. These are things that I actually watch, right? Guys like Wendigoon, great friend, love Isaiah. But I think the only video out of his that I've watched is probably the disturbing and controversial video game Iceberg, and more specifically, Faith 3D. Isaiah is more a video gaming YouTuber for me, especially when he covers things like this. And this goes for a lot of my favorite YouTube friends, okay? I like...
Do you think Muda Hardest doesn't like anime?
Well, there's a video of him talking about one of the hentais that was called Dropout, and that was in a high school setting. And it is literally just hardcore BDSM high school. Like, it was on the Rev's video where he was actually on a live stream talking about Dropout. So, he's probably not the most hardcore anime fan.
We is.
Well, you're a 2D woman.
I know, I'm petty.
But still, this whole video should just never been made.
Yeah.
Continue.
Your friendship is magic.
Like
Pony
Moist
power.
Critical, don't watch every single Charlie video out there. In fact, I don't really watch much of YouTubers unless it comes to really, really specific things like speedrunning or, I don't know.
YouTube's my new TV.
4-hour-long video game retrospectives. And again, this isn't really a defense. I most definitely should have actually been vetting people. And that's why going into, again, the future of my channel, I definitely want to keep collaborations to a minimum. I can't keep making a mistake like this because, again, if you're going to make mistakes, you got to fucking learn from them. If you actively looked into Nux, you'd spot the weird pattern of shit that follows the man, especially with Mama Max. I don't know if it's a bias you have, but if you're going to be critical of others, which I am, expect people to be critical of you when you platform weirdos and don't actually vet them. And I totally understand that criticism, and it's not something I want to actually keep happening in the future, okay? So if you make a video complaining about the fact that you're being criticized here, I won't be surprised if you snip half of this post and then act like we're all stupid, which I'm not. I literally will not do that, okay? If it's one thing that I don't do ever, all right, and you're a long-time watcher, I'm not going to fucking snip a post, okay?
Pause, I just noticed something.
Yeah.
Removed by Reddit.
Ooh.
So is this a screenshot of something that got removed?
And he's...
I just now noticed that. And I don't know how Reddit works. I don't go on there. Probably for my own sanity.
Yeah.
But are you... So is this factual? Are you reading? Is that, like...
Respond to the whole thing. There's genuine criticisms of you that people are making in good
He just
faith
got
because they
butthurt.
like you
That's
and
all
your
I can
content.
say. He
Exactly.
just got butthurt.
And for those people, I'm making a video like this to really, again, address these situations. If you ignore that, that's on you. But it sure is weird that this is the second time now that you don't vet people and blindly vouch for them. Again, Mama Max, the example used before, it wasn't just me vouching for this guy. Everyone in the community really did. Until, of course, shit hit the fan. People really started looking into this content. And even then, I was one of the large YouTubers that came out and really actually mentioned that, took accountability, in my personal opinion, and...
Can you really vet someone
I mean,
if they had... No. Let me talk.
Okay.
Can you really vet someone if they seem normal? Everything they do is normal. Everything's fine. And then just out of the blue, they do something. Just out... Because that's what this is sounding like that he was talking about.
Yeah, sorry, I gotta remove this. But, yeah, no, just... I don't... Like, yeah, maybe you should have bet someone, maybe, especially if you...
But if they hadn't done anything yet, how would you know? If what's a good example?
If you go on a date with someone and later on you found out they had bodies in their backyard, but you never dated them again, so that's a good example.
Really?
Or, like, for instance, the BTK killer that was married for years, but he was the most famous killer down in Kansas.
Oh, yeah, you're referring to that they have hidden skeletons in their closet.
Yeah.
That you like Yoshikage Kira. You want to say
on that level, yeah.
I was trying to say something more of they start out normal and are fine, but then down the line they get insane.
Yeah, maybe like that. Like, Or in Nuck's case, he doesn't do this shit anymore. Not to the level like this.
Yeah, he's a little more,
Mature.
matured. Even though I still think his old humor was just hilarious.
Is it weird to say I used to subscribe to him, and I unsubscribed to him for years, and then I started watching him like a couple years ago again?
Huh.
So, anyway.
Owned up to it. Really breaks the immersion you try to make of being a respectable, neutral party. When you actually have vouched for monsters 2 times in the last 3 to 4 years. Which again, I do 100% apologize for, and it's something that I have to do better. I have to get rid of a blind spot. I have
to say this real fast. Nux does have a lot of enemies.
Well, not only that, like, Nux even says a 4 who was it?
He gets called a Nazi when he's a Jew.
Well, not only that, even Nux said that 1 out of every 4 streamers are assholes. So statistically, yeah, you're gonna run into some people who put on a good face.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're behind a VTuber mall for crying out loud.
I have a very good face.
to get rid of biases. But yeah, when it comes to things like this and people, alleging stuff like watching Loli on the down low, it's not something that I ever do. It's not something that I ever want to do. And it's not something I condone. And for that, I do take accountability into not pushing back and stepping away from this situation. Your community can go harass everyone who doesn't like your opinion because whether you believe it or not, you've got a hive mind of people who support you blindly, which I shouldn't have, okay? You should be 100% critical of everyone. I'm not an infallible person. I'm somebody that makes mistakes, as I'm describing in this video. And I do not ever endorse anybody in my community going out to harass somebody. If you harass somebody, you're not in the Some Ordinary Gamers community in my books. But unless you actually grow from how much you blindly believe people, you'll continue to make the same mistakes every time, which I don't want to. And that's why, again, I'm making these videos. Because I think taking accountability is very important. And obviously, I believe taking accountability on the main channel is very important too. Okay? That's just where it comes down to. And again, if people wonder why posts get removed from the Reddit, nobody moderates this Reddit but the Reddit automod. And if you look very carefully, it says removed by Reddit, which, to be honest with you, Nostra Klonoa, this wasn't me hiding anything. I'm just going to hit approve on that because this shit absolutely drives me insane. I think we've got to change the automod settings at some point. Now, obviously, I want to address some other power round criticism before we end this off. Lol, fuck Muda. Dude's been a hypocrite forever as well. Dude virtue signals over cartoons, but loves watching beheading videos. So, I want to...
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We'll go into it in a minute, but yeah, Muda likes watching cartel beheading videos. Now...
I mean, I like a good gory video, but...
I can't watch a real human being die like that. I'm sorry.
I can't watch, for whatever reason, my cousin will watch, those, surgery, videos and stuff. I can't. Anything. For some reason, I have this weird stigma when it comes to real-life gore and pretend gore. I'm fine with the pretend gore, for whatever reason. But when it gets to real-life gore, and I see that shit, I will get really squeamish.
But, okay, he's got a point. So he's going to get uptight over drawn anime girls.
Uh-huh.
But you're okay watching people get beheaded on TikTok.
Hey, it's like Japan versus America. America, we have the violence, and Japan has the sexualization. Which one's worse?
Also address this statement as well. Now, on the podcast, I talked about a morbid curiosity that I have with beheading videos, cartel stuff on the internet. And I feel like I have to explain this a little bit more. My morbid curiosity comes from the fact that for a long time, for years at this point, I've been looking into the Mexican drug war. And if you ever followed cartel social media, one of the weirdest things about their social media is you actually have gang bosses, sicarios, actual hitmen, real hardened gangsters posting on Instagram, TikTok, posting on really any social media platform, their mansions, their extravagant lifestyles. They've got...
You know what? No. I'll go watch your lowly hentai any day. I ain't watching an actual real person getting killed.
Yeah.
No. That's... No. We watched some hentai earlier. A lady getting fucked by a fucking snake thingy with 2 dicks and tits. Yeah.
Not my proudest fault.
But yeah, no one was getting hurt in that video because they're not real. people are actually getting hurt in these videos. Your priorities, man.
Continue.
Gold guns, Ferraris, it's really crazy propaganda they use to really house people in. But if you look in Reddit boards like r/narco footage, a lot of these boards where they, catalog the Mexican drug war, you'll find plenty of uses of social media where the cartel uploads straight up beheadings, violence, takedowns as forms of intimidation. So realistically, I don't enjoy or love watching this kind of stuff.
Then
If you ever
why
watch my
are
dark
you?
web videos, my dry heaving is insane, okay? Even if gore's not on the screen, I will throw up even thinking about these situations. So I don't watch these things for fun, but to give you a context about it, when I do come across this stuff in that
I'm a fucked up human being myself, but I would never watch a real life person get killed.
I'm gonna also put it here. Oh, so you're okay still watching it. You don't enjoy watching. You're not watching it for morbid curiosity, but looking at fucked up hentai is not morbid curiosity. Even
Yeah! And it's not hurting any real life kids, and most of them aren't even kids, or they're. No, none of them are kids. Because you know what? A cartoon doesn't have an age.
Alright, tell me now.
Sailor Moon is older than I am. And you know what? She's still stuck in what, 16 or whatever?
14, which I kind of find ironic in this show. They had her dating a college student. Mama Roo was a college student dating a 14-year-old. Now that I think about it. Let's continue.
specific context, it's more of me watching these things as part of my ongoing private investigation and research and morbid curiosity of a drug war happening where cowboys are raking in billions of dollars 2 hours south of the border from, Los Angeles? Literally right across the border of the United States from one of the richest countries in the world. You can have a nation where, again, billion-dollar gangs can effectively run entire portions of Mexico. It's an insane,
disgusting.
wild scenario. People talk about crazy, evil shit happening on the other side of the world. This is happening literally to the south of the border. And it's insane it's gone on this long. Now, obviously, I'm ending this video off on, again, Nux Taku is somebody that I have considered a friend at one point, but honestly, with a lot of these new things that have sort of come and resurfaced and people have brought these things up to my attention, it's not something I feel comfortable really even, looking at, okay? I don't like lowly stuff, and honestly, in a lot of these clips where, again, Nux, with me involved in these sort of competitions or these sort of, collaborations, is not something I'm okay with. It's not something I like being attributed to, and it's something that I 100% condemn. So as far as there being a bridge between me and Nux Taku, it doesn't exist. And it won't ever exist. And honestly, looking at some of these clips again, and some of these thumbnails that have been changed around, and again, some of these other situations involving other VTubers that feel very wronged in these situations regarding Nux Taku, I don't feel comfortable ever associating with this person. And regardless of whatever past or friendship...
To be honest, I don't feel like Nux should be comfortable with associating with you watching actual people dying.
You want to end this video here, because I don't think there's much left. There's only 4 minutes left.
Yeah, let's go ahead and end it.
But
Thank you for watching.
by the way, before we end it, don't harass Mutahar. Don't harass
If Nux forgives him, that's his prerogative. There's no need to be mean to people, because that's what started this, actually, oddly enough.
So just don't harass them. Don't just leave people alone. Just look at the poo. Don't touch it. Okay.